Hi, my name is Samuel Cheeks. Today I will be discussing how high schoolers' shopping patterns affect their financial identity. First, I will be outlining what is a financial identity. I will be defining high schoolers as ages 14 to 18. I will be discussing the practical steps that high schoolers can use to combat overspending. I will be discussing how a consumeristic mindset affects high school shopping patterns. I will be discussing spending in particular areas, what kind of product it is, and is it because of trends or social media, and or both. And finally, I will be answering the question, is developing a shaky financial identity or one that is not built sustainably going to negatively affect the high schooler later into adulthood? So, financial identity is the knowledge, skills, and behaviors that influence how people manage their money and how they collectively and or personally build financial well-being. Financial identity is formed during an emerging adulthood, so it's extremely important for the regulation of youth, financial behaviors, decisions, and long-term financial goals. Good financial planning often includes the following practices such as budgeting, taxes, managing liquidity, investing your money, and managing risk as best as possible to keep your debts low. Why should you care about your financial identity? You should care about your financial identity because it also contributes to the achievement of independence in life. And oftentimes it's the first time in your life where you can completely have sole independence over a factor in your life. Having control over your financial life can also be a huge factor in your self-esteem. Knowing where your money is going and how much you are spending can suggest improvements and also build confidence. Financial identity is used during an emerging adulthood and is one of the first things that a child is developing into adulthood can have responsibility over, which I previously just said. If high schoolers build positive financial habits, many of those habits will follow them into adulthood. However, if they develop bad habits, many of those bad habits will follow them into adulthood. These bad habits can become wired into the adult brain, making them extremely hard to break in life. These habits will also make it extremely hard for them in adulthood when now these high schoolers have to pay taxes, bills, car insurance, health insurance, and in severe cases, it can even see them going into debt or taking out title loans and a low self-image. As previously stated, financial identity is a large part of your self-identity as well. So, I have some questions here. What are some of the ways that high schoolers can develop bad financial habits? Keeping up with trends and social media influencers, little to no understanding of debt, little to no focus on credit scores, asset management and investing, and overspending are some of the ways that a high schooler can develop a bad financial identity. So, one of my research questions was spending in a particular area. What product, and is it because of social media? So as you can see here, we see that social media plays a large part in high schooler spending, as by 2025, advertisers are expected to spend over $82 billion promoting their products to social media networks. Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn are the biggest platforms susceptible to high schoolers shopping. High schoolers spend a lot of time on YouTube. High schoolers can often see a trendy product worn by their favorite influencer, celebrity, social media personality, or their friend group, and decide to buy that product from a shopping website or the ad linked in the social media profile. This trend and mindset will affect the high schoolers ages 15 to 18 the most. Little to no understanding of debt. Many students will go into debt that can financially slow them down for years, because a lot of times the biggest things that teens will go into debt for is trying to pay for school. While there are scholarships and grants, sometimes you just might not get a scholarship or a grant. Other times you might just have to do a 2-year for your core classes, take dual enrollment while in high school, get a job to cover your expenses, and choose a campus that's close to home so you can save on room and board. However, many high schoolers actually will spend money on depreciating assets such as fast fashion, like clothes off of Shein or Temu, new cars, new computers, especially if it's not needed, and dining out. In fact, food is the most consumed product that a high schooler will spend their money on, and a lot of times this spending will exceed the amount of money that they have coming in. As you can see over here in this graph, their teams are in debt 31%, and 39 of that 31% owns less than 25, while 34 of that 31% owes $100 or more. Little to no focus on credit score, asset management, and investing. Not building these habits can cause high schoolers to not focus on financial deadlines, such as paying your bills on time or carrying a balance on your credit cards, which will severely affect you in adulthood. High schoolers must understand that credit purchases stay on your report and that your balance does too, showing that you have poor responsibility depending on how low your balance is. How high it is, rather. High schoolers also can start understanding the power of making money through the stock market and putting away money for emergencies, such as emergency funds and savings accounts that will help cover small costs, such as a flat tire or a huge purchase, such as a car or a senior trip. Overspending. Why do high schoolers overspend? Many high schoolers don't mean to overspend. Overspending is not something that is very intentional. Most high schoolers impulse shop. As previously mentioned, they will see a product advertised to them on social media. They'll see their favorite influencer wearing it, and they decide to go ahead and buy the product, knowing that they don't need it, they just want it. This could be contributed to a consumer mindset. Consumerism is the acquisition of goods and services beyond those that are necessary for survival, and they're really for the perception of status. A lot of sites such as Nike, Temu, Shein, and H&M spend billions of dollars advertising consumerism towards high schoolers. So how do we correct it? You create a budget and you adhere to it. You identify your spending triggers and identify a skill to help you act, to help or to help correct you when you're triggered. You avoid impulse spending. You really ask, do I need this or do I want it? Create a personal savings plan. Start an emergency fund, typically with more than $500 in it, and reduce your expenses as possible. Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed and have a great day.